Be strong and courageous. This is what God is saying to Joshua. Be strong and courageous, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous. Now, some people kind of knock Joshua like he was a coward. And he was so scared, he was such a fraidy cat that he had to be reminded numerous times by the Lord and Moses earlier on to be brave and bold and courageous. I don't know that it was so much that Joshua was gripped with fear. I think it was more. The battles ahead would have scared every other human in such a way they would have run from them all. And Joshua wasn't just in for the battle, he was the tip of the spear. And so it's completely appropriate for the Lord to say, Preston's poor man's paraphrase, listen, Joshua, you're seeing correctly. This war I'm walking you into, this war I am leading you through, this is not a fire drill. This is the real thing. And yes, it's bigger than you. Don't worry, that's a setup for my glory. Yes, you're going to feel overwhelmed some days. Don't worry, that's a divine setup to keep you close to my side. You've got to be strong and courageous, Joshua. In other words, Joshua, for you to lead the people where I want you to lead them to go, you can't get there without being strong and courageous. Question: what was the report about the inhabitants of the Promised Land? Do you remember? The spies go in, and what do they see? Giants. They saw giant fruit, but none of them, even though they came back with the fruit, they didn't come back with the giants. They came back with the fruit, the giant fruit. But what they saw in their hearts through a lens of fear, when they saw the giants in the land they were called to occupy, left more of a mark than the giant fruit they carried in to show the people just how blessed this land was. Why? Why were there giants in the land God promised to his people? Listen, this was a divine setup. Of course, the promised land was filled with giants. That way, the only people who could occupy the land of the promise would be a people of faith. Of course, there were giants. That was the only way a people of faith would go in and occupy it. He wasn't just giving out handouts. Listen, our king isn't just handing out free handouts. This is a walk of faith. And let me just say, and this is not necessarily going to sit awesomely with every person who hears this, but the marriage of your dreams, quite possibly, might be on the other side of infidelity. I'm not trying to speak a curse. Don't act like I am. I'm just sitting with a lot of people in this season, and they are getting their tails handed to them. And you're going to hear me talking about this more and more. Listen, I am convinced the Spirit of God is moving on the earth more than I have ever seen in my lifetime. And starting 5 years ago, I have never seen the enemy move this much in my lifetime. Now, I'm not going to stare at all that, but I am going to be prepared for it. And some are looking at their marriage. They're feeling all this stress, and they think it's a marriage problem. And so they go and chase and cheat. I am literally talking to people right now who have experienced infidelity recently in their marriage, and they are bravely, courageously making the choice to fight their way through this dark cloud in this dark season. And I can see it. I can see it in their eyes.